What's up, y'all? How y'all doing?
What's going on?
Sorry it took me so long, man.
Good, man.
Had to get myself together.
I'm Peter Bailey, and after convening with Lupe Fiasco, I invited T.I. to share a nightcap with me in South Beach. On the heels of releasing Trouble Man, Heavy is the Head, the Bankhead superstar discussed fame's casualties, his evolution from felon to film, and finding redemption in fostering the careers of Atlanta's new crop of MCs before giving the Magic City a taste of trouble.
He is the king in the South. Clap right now. Put your hands together for my man, your man. The king is in the building. T.I.
Hey, say what's happening, y'all. It's T.I.P., man. Trouble Man in the flesh. Dig this. Right now, man, I'm on South Beach, and I'm having a nightcap with my guy, Peter Bailey. Hold what you got.
Just real people, real convo.
Tip, thank you for sharing the nightcap, brother.
Hey, man.
Man, so you came all the way down from Orlando.
Yeah.
It's your first stop.
Right on.
I appreciate it. The new album is your 8th album, Heavy is the Head.
Yeah, Trouble Man. Heavy.
Trouble Man. Tip, it's been a long odyssey.
Yeah.
What's the essence behind Heavy is the Head, per se?
Well, I feel like, you know, to declare yourself king, it puts you in line for certain adversity. You know, you can expect more adversity, more challenges. You can expect more responsibility. You know, and you know, I think it's just another way to say, to whom much is given, more is required.
Tip, what would you say is the biggest misconception about being a superstar? Because here's when the average person thinks a superstar, they think everything is handed, everything is given.
Yeah.
What's the biggest misconception about being that guy?
I guess that people would perceive by me making it look effortless that it's all bright lights and Lamborghinis. You know what I mean? I don't think they take enough time to consider all of the hard work that goes into it and all of the sacrifices that must be made, and you know, just all of the other side of the scale.
What's the other side?
I mean, you know, it's sleepless nights. You know what I mean? It's a lot of selflessness. It's a lot of doing what you can because you ain't able to do what you want. You know, due to professional obligations and responsibilities. And it's a lot of things that you don't ever get to get back. You know, once you cross that threshold of celebrity, of stardom, you know, it's a lot of things in your life you don't get back.
It's interesting you said about cross that threshold of celebrity. With your success, your evolution of success has been interesting because in a way, I guess it's that storybook American idea where it's have nothing and have a lot, right?
Yeah.
But how do you balance? You know, I don't know. Maybe you have, maybe you don't. That sense of success guilt, because if you're coming from one arena and you really gotta leave certain people behind.
There's no guilt there.
No.
Nah. I think a lot of those people, they already knew that they had to be left behind in order for me to get where I was going through. You know, that's not guilt in that. There's no guilt in that. In order for me to feel guilty about that would mean that guilt would say that I want my children to grow up the way I did. Or that I want my mom to live the way that we lived when I was growing up. There's no guilt associated with that. It's just it's a common knowledge, you know what I'm saying? It's an awareness. There's an awareness of just, you know, sacrifices that must be made for the greater good.
When we talk about the greater good, right? Hip hop is this thing, this phenomenon that's emanating from it's a gritty place, a real impoverished place, right?
It started there.
Yeah, it started there.
Right.
So, I don't know, if you think about it, Tip, I think about this sometimes. Bankhead is still Bankhead.
Sure.
Watts is still Watts. is there a time when the success you attain, the success people have made out there, is there a time when hip hop kind of owes something to that community in a way at all?
I think the people who come from that community, you know, if that community gave you your foundation, your foundational structure, I think you owe something to that community. Now, what you owe, what you give, I think is entirely up to you. You know what I mean? You just owe something. You know, you just owe something. You know, whether even if it's just to come back and show kids who growing up in that same neighborhood that it's possible, that you can come from here and make it to wherever you want to make it and fulfill your dreams in life. Just that alone is a lot, because I never had that. The only thing I had to look up to was drug dealers. You know what I mean? That was it. It wasn't, the first time I saw somebody, I was grown. Like the first time I saw Outkast, I grew up in Atlanta, but I never saw Jermaine Dupri. I never saw, you know, TLC or, you know what I'm saying, none of those people. I never saw them. So for me to be able, if I had somebody who was riding through Bankhead every now and then, hopping out a $250,000 car, slapping my hand, you know what I'm saying, tell me you can do it, you know, I probably would have got here a lot quicker. You know?
Yeah. You got a song called Dope Man, right? Earlier on. And one of the lyrics is, so I remember the lyric, is you see the catch in the grill, but if you scratch the surface, you see the pain beneath. You make music that the whole world is adoring, but it's coming from a painful place. Sometimes do you think that to see someone kind of, I don't know, dancing to music that's really emanating from that place, do you think about that sometimes, or?
I mean, I think that music is a form of expression. Yeah. You know what I mean? So that place of that painful place that you speak of, that's being expressed in a different presentation of music. You know what I'm saying? I feel like, I think that it's necessary sometimes to celebrate the pain. You know, because if not, then you know, the pain wins. If you can look at it and acknowledge it, endure it, and celebrate, you know, regardless of it, I think then you still on top. You know what I'm saying? The pain is at that point is strengthening you, is conditioning you, is preparing you for the next whatever awaits you around the corner. You know what I'm saying? Now if you let the pain get to where all it does is make you mourn and sulk, then at that point you're not conditioning yourself, you're deteriorating. You know what I'm saying? Your spirit is weakening. So I feel like, you know, it's just like the same reason some people dance and laugh at funerals. You know, it's coming from a painful place, but you know that celebration is what overcomes that pain.
So we kind of been known as a culture to turn our cries into smiles.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, interesting. When I think of hip hop, I make a bold statement. When I think about an artist who has that rock star swagger, that you know, that pop idol kind of swagger, like Tupac, I think Tip, you come closest to that person. What do you think about today's artists? Because I think pop came from an era when artists were a little bit more real.
Sure.
They put their lifestyle, their art was a reflection of their lifestyle.
Sure.
I think today the art is more, it's more creative in a way. It's like artists are more, it's like a machine for some. Do you think pop would have fitted in with this genre of music today?
I don't think it would have been about fitting in with pop. It would have been about him doing him being who he is, and everybody else adapting around him. You know what I'm saying? I think and the best of us, that's you know, that's our definite intention, for us to just do us, not worry about fitting in, not trying to, you know, conform to the conventional methods of whatever's going on today, but to really just give it to you how we live it, and let you adapt to it. Let the listeners and the environment adapt to us. You know, that's in a perfect world. That's the way it is.
That's interesting. That's real interesting. Kind of eventually into acting. I'm upset because Boss was like one of my favorites. That was one of my favorite shows on television.
Right on.
How was that run for you, man? How was that experience working with Kelsey?
It was great. It was great. It was an awesome experience. I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed myself. It was an honor to be involved, and I would have never gotten an opportunity to work alongside so many highly skilled, well-trained actors, writers, and directors, and producers at one time in such a short period had it not been for that show.
Interesting. Somebody who played devil's advocate. I know it's early, but I got a tip. You've had a lot of success in the acting world, right? I was reading something and somebody said, man, I would have been Boss. They have Tip playing a crook.
Sure.
Does that bother you at all?
No, everybody's a crook on Boss.
That's true. That's true.
I mean, you know, I'm an actor. You know, that's what the character called for. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't holding up liquor stores.
True.
And you know what I'm saying? Cutting up crack.
True.
You know, I was a diverse character with layers. You know what I'm saying? And he had ambitions. He had ambitions to grow beyond his environment. You know, which gave him reach and gave him depth. You know, and his ability to manipulate his circumstances. You know what I'm saying? That made him intellectual. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I don't think that was stereotypical.
It wasn't.
Typecast.
It wasn't. It was like the Wire.
It wasn't just like a typecast role. You know, it had something that any actor could have fed off of. You could have got Alfonso Roberto to play that role, and he would have found a way to layer it and to present it in a way that was, you know, authentic to and true to what the pages required.
I saw you talk about in an interview that I guess everybody knows about it, right? That you reached out to Will Smith to get a part in.
No, I didn't reach out to him. We were just in conversation, just speaking, and he asked me what was going on. See, we got the same birthday. And every day on our birthday we speak, you know, if only just to say what's up, how you doing, what's going on. That year on our birthday, I was just going through that situation. So when he asked me how am I doing, I was like, man, it's tight right now. you know, his first thing was, you know, how can I help? You know?
Yeah.
I said, bro, they got to come from the top.
Yeah.
He was like, well, I can reach up there. Man, don't put yourself out your way, man.
Yeah.
You know, it's a long shot.
Yeah.
So he said, well, let's see. And so, you know, he at that point, he connected with my attorneys and he took a shot.
Yeah. That's good to have people in such powerful places, though.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't expecting no help. The gesture alone was, you know, it was.
But Tip, do you think about that? Because Obama, not to get all political, but Obama has kind of come under fire with it. He's in an interesting seat because you have the violence in Chicago. Police commissioner said Obama he's not focusing on what's going on with the juveniles and the urban neighborhoods and whatnot. The incarceration rates, certainly injustices and whatnot. Is that something you think Obama's administration kind of look at and call basically ex-felons and rights to vote and whatnot? Is that something issue you think he should be focused on at all?
No, on the national level, I mean, I think that, man, let's be real.
Yeah, let's be real.
The country's main problem right now is the economy.
True.
So he's focusing on that.
True.
You know what I mean? And I feel like if you fix that in a lot of ways, you fix other problems. Because most crimes are committed out of the sense of, poverty or lack of options. You know what I'm saying? So I think that when you create opportunities, when people have options, then you know the crimes tend to dwindle. You know what I'm saying? So
that's true.
I think that he's trying to he's focusing on one issue, but that issue is a direct, it directly affects the other issue.
Exactly.
You know, I don't think that he's just gonna go to Chicago and call the National Guard and, you know what I'm saying, and do the job that the police commissioners and the mayors and see, that's a regional, that's a state, city-state.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's their issue. You know?
So you know, so that's the thing. So whose responsibility is it though?
Is it now? Don't get me wrong. Now, if he has a way to directly affect it by allocating certain funds to certain programs that could, you know, that could help contribute to you know, Chicago being safer and the crime rate diminishing.
Exactly.
I mean, that's a different topic of discussion.
Exactly.
And those are facts that I'm not aware of, so I can't necessarily speak on.
I want to know, how do you maintain such a healthy family life?
In the lights, the pop, you know, how do you maintain that? Give me some advice.
I started out like that. You know what I'm saying? Even before, when I was stepping into, when I found out I was having my first child, and probably a month after that, I got a record deal. You know what I mean? So while I was working on my album, I had my first child. While I was working my first album, I was having my second child. You know, when I was starting on my third album. Oh, excuse me. When I actually signed my deal to Atlantic, I had 3 children. You know what I'm saying? At that point, probably like 3 and 2 at that time. So, I mean, for me, man, I grew up as my celebrity grew, my children were growing and being born. My relationship was, you know, just now about to flourish when I started to, you know, with trap music. So I grew into this position. It ain't like I was famous and then all of a sudden I decided to have a wife and kids. You know what I'm saying? It was a consistent progression.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? One step at a time. First I had 2, then 3, then I had a girlfriend, and I had a fiance, then I had, and so on and so forth. You know what I'm saying? It didn't just all happen at the snap of a finger.
Okay. Huh. What's next for Tip, man? What's next?
Man, this album dropping this album and you know, solidifying my position.
You spoke about wanting to go overseas, kind of establish.
Yeah. I definitely think that that's a priority of ours, making sure that we establish ourselves abroad, you know, to a respectable degree, because, you know, a person of my caliber who doesn't have an international presence, you know, it's just asinine, and it's also leaving money on the table, you know, which I just so hate to do. Yeah. And you know what I mean? That's one of my focuses, and also, you know, and also strengthening myself in the world of film. Film creatively as an actor, and you know, as a producer and an executive producer, and just learning more, creating opportunities, developing new talent. You know, taking the talent that I have and opening doors and providing platforms for them to flourish and reach their full potential, like I know and they know and everybody around us all have felt that they had the potential and the opportunity to do from day one. But it all starts with me. You know
I saw Travis Porter talked about you really trying to bring Atlanta together. Young brothers.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I tried when I came home. That was my purpose. You know what I'm saying? That was my intention. I spoke to Jeezy. I spoke to Rocco. I spoke to Chains. I spoke to man, so many of the present existing who's who of Atlanta music. I spoke to him about us all having to sit down at the same table and forming a committee. And, those conversations, they started out pleasant and productive. And, eventually I just started seeing the cats saying everybody ain't for the team mentality. So some cats they trying to get theirs and go home, which, you can't make somebody something that they aren't.
No.
You can't make somebody care about everybody when they only care about themselves. You can't train that, you can't teach it, you can't encourage it. It's either in you or it's not. And it just so happens that most of the people in the city, man, it's in them to see about themselves. If we were to have that sit down, there might have been about 5 of us or 6 of us. And then, you know what I'm saying, it's the envy.
Yeah.
The male ego it's a very, very, it's a sophisticated emotion. You know what I'm saying? The male ego, man, and it's delicate. As strong as the male ego is supposed to be, it's extremely delicate. And when rubbed, touched, or smudged the wrong way,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It can have catastrophic outcomes.
Okay, so I'm gonna go there, Tip. I'm gonna go there. Is it possible? I would like to see this. Is it possible to see a T.I., Jeezy, and Gucci on the same track?
Man, I would have loved to see that too, man. I was really working on trying to resolve all beefs in the town. I was working on trying to get everybody to sit down at the same table, and even whether you like each other or not, at least have a respect, a mutual respect for one another, to where y'all can be in the same buildings, and we can be at least work on the same records, and we could, even if we're not going to necessarily work with one another and assist one another, just not to hinder one another's progress, because the more each of us progress, the more the city progresses. And right now, it's like everybody want to be the man. That's what it is. That's really what it is in the town. Everybody want to be the man. And if they ain't the man, then they looking at who is the man and trying to figure out how to take his spot. And that is what killed the scene in New York.
Exactly what killed the scene.
You know what I mean? Everybody wanting to be the man. Everybody ain't gonna be the man. Everybody ain't gonna be the man. And cats, man, then it's a fact, when you are the man, now people looking at you like you owe them something. And if you don't, you know what I'm saying? If you don't, I guess, hand over stardom to these people, you know what I'm saying? Then at that point, they feel like you're keeping them out. You know what I'm saying? So then that's another conflict that's created unnecessarily. And man, honestly, man, I just felt like, man, you know what? I need to be investing this time in my kids, man, because this is it just got a little too meticulous. So I'm cool with the cats who I can vibe with, and we connect, and you know what I'm saying? I have some very strong relationships, man, within the community of the music people in Atlanta. And then there's some other cats, you know what I'm saying, who the relationship, man, it ain't really worth speaking on.
Yeah, because I've been reading, you do a lot with the kids and stuff in the communities.
Sure.
It's amazing. Finally, Tip, it's funny, when you were locked down, the book I wrote with Trick Daddy came out.
Okay.
And me and Trick had personally signed the book.
Yeah, I got it.
And we couldn't get
I got the book, so I think it was with MTV, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they sent it to me. I got the book.
But we got a signed copy though. You didn't get our signed copy.
Right.
Rose, I gotta give you the signed copy from me and Trick.
That's what's up.
Because you're just a big
I got this
inspiration
book
to a lot of people, man.
I started reading it. I think somebody had got it from me, man. They had asked me to read it while I was probably 20 pages in, and I never got it back. Right on, man.
Personally signed it for you in the front.
Right on, thank you.
And one more thing, if I don't do this, I'm gonna have a terrible Christmas.
What up?
My sister's a big fan of yours.
Okay.
Her name is Grace. And
Right
she
on.
just wants to tell you to keep it moving, keep your head up, just stay positive, man.
Will do.
Thanks for sharing the night, Captain.
All right, appreciate it.
people, real confidence.